What's going on, everybody? My name is Steven. You're watching FowlerAirguns channel, and we have here with us today the Beeman 1358. This is the rifle that I had placed a poll out on to see what everybody wanted to see me shooting next on this channel, and seems like you all have spoken up pretty clearly. So what I've actually done with this rifle is I have ordered this rifle for a giveaway. I am giving away this rifle. All you got to do is go over and find my community post and just like it, subscribe if you want to see some content, and drop your number, guessing between 1 and 3,000, and well, you have your chance to win this thing here. So let's talk about this Beeman 1358. This is an 22 caliber here, and this is a underlever cocking air rifle, PCP air rifle. So you get this nice little handle, it flips down, and it cocks so smoothly, guys. I mean, it engages lovely. You can decock the rifle. Has a front blade manual trigger, which I'm not the hugest fan of, but that's okay because it's conveniently located, I reckon. The good thing is it does not engage every single time that you cock this rifle. So if you just want to run around with your safety off, works just fine. All right, so this here is a 3000 psi max fill bullpup configuration PCP multi-shot air rifle. Now, comes with two, if I can find it anyways, two of these indexing multi-shot magazines here. So you load these magazines up, and I'll go ahead and advise people just in advance, these are pretty cheaply made here, so you get lots of boogering, lots of scarring on your magazine and stuff here. It's a tight fit, fits nice though, but no issue whatsoever indexing. Shot some FX 25.4s out of this, and they loaded up just fine, indexed nicely. So we have here 3000 max psi max fill PCP air gun, and again, bullpup configuration, so it brings the shooter a little bit further into the rifle here and brings everything back so that you have a full length rifle shortened up for you here. The Woodstock, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a stickler for Woodstock. I'm just not a huge fan of the Woodstock. The Woodstock that Beeman has incorporated into this rifle actually works really well. I'm very happy with it. I have to say that it is, overall, it has been a fun package to work with. So, it does not have much of an adjustable trigger here. There's no external adjustments. In order to get to anything whatsoever, you're actually going to have to take the rifle stock off, which consists of one Allen key here, and down here in the back you have a Phillips screw that runs down in there, and that's going to remove your stock, and then you can play around with the trigger on this thing. That's something to talk about a little bit. This trigger here, it has a bit of a long stage. It's not terrible. See if you can see that there. So it's got a little bit of a first stage there. The second stage actually breaks pretty crisp, so nothing too bad there. As far as your trigger pull goes, that's pretty smooth there. I fixed it here with a Vision King, so this is also a Chinese branded type rifle scope here. Fixed power 6 by 40 something here, 6 by 42, and this actually just has the illuminated mil dot reticle in it, so it just makes for great when you're out there at 40 yards or so and you're just trying to transfer. Maybe you want to get out and you want to do some small game testing and such with this. I've had a little bit of time to play with this. We're gonna shoot some chronograph numbers over the bench for you and stuff so that you can see it all yourself. But I tell you, overall, at $300, the price point on this, it's hard to beat. I mean, it really is. Overall, the weight of the package is not bad with no optic on it here. I mean, I'm really not sure on the weight here. I'd guess it to be over 6 pounds. I could be wrong, but it's really not bad because most of the weight is actually right here, right where your hand goes, which is what you want, especially in this configuration here. So it's, you can see here, you can just about two finger it there, and it's got most of its weight just right here. So pretty nice there, not too bad. With the optic on it, it's a little more front end heavy, but it's not bad. It really isn't. You know, if you can shoulder your bullpup and with one hand not have to hold this up here on the end, and you can manage to you know, place your hand behind your back and you can somewhat focus in this position, then I believe that the rifle is weighted pretty well. So overall, I like the Beeman Bullpup. I think the Beeman has done a pretty good job. Some heads up, just a little FYI. I got this rifle in here, and it was leaking air, completely empty. And what I actually found out was the manometer was leaking around a manometer. So no big deal. But in order to really get into that issue, I had to remove the manometer, small bit of Teflon tape on the back of it. But in order to remove the manometer, you have to degas the rifle. So I had to degas this rifle, and I will be honest with you, even with a bottle, it is not fun trying to air this rifle back up. The valve actually will not seat properly. Even with a strong force of beginning air on it, it just did not want to seat. Me personally, what I had to do was very kindly go and take this gun apart here. So yes, unfortunately I did, very clean and neatly, but I was able to really learn some things about this rifle and how it's set up, and what a great configuration too. As far as the way they've integrated this underlever in here, you'll see this bar slide back here, and this is actually what's pulling back your probe and stuff to, and your hammer to engage it in. And I'll be honest with you, it's smooth like butter. I've had no issues with it cycling whatsoever. So that's been it's been really nice. It has a tri-Picatinny rail, so you have your rail on your side here and the rail on the top here to mount your optic. Now I will tell you, these are plastic rails. Plastic rails. I'm not a huge fan of the plastic rails. I'm sure a lot of people will find that. Actually, something that I have noticed about this that does bug me, and I do believe it is because of the plastic rails on this gun. When you're taking a shot through and you're really focusing on it, you get a lot of vibration in this scope. So you're getting a lot of that jarring going on when you take a shot and you see your whole reticle just bouncing like crazy. Yeah, it's due to the plastic rails. You get a lot of vibration traveling through that. It's got to be because of plastic rails. That's my assumption anyhow. Aside from the plastic rails, it does have a plastic barrel shroud on it. The barrel shroud is actually it's very relatively stiff here, so I haven't noticed any of that rocking and rolling and moving on us. The breech is aluminum. It's covered with a plastic cheek riser. I guess you would call that somewhat of a cheek riser. I'd like to see somebody come in where these screws are at here and actually 3D printer make an extra piece, maybe some kind of a riser or something with a little bit more comfort on it there. But you get your plastic there, plastic here, your aluminum cylinder, and something that I am happy about with this rifle is that you don't have to fish around for a fill probe, because they just put you to 1/8 quick disconnect right here on the end of the gun. I personally like that. I know it's a booger to try to hide sometime, but you know, they've done a really nice job in this package, you all. I'll have to tell you, if you're looking for a PCP air rifle, something that's budget friendly, I picked this rifle up for $300 off of eBay. Okay, 300 bucks was what I paid. It was $320 after taxes. So come on, I mean, really guys, that's a heck of a price point for a PCP in the bullpup configuration, and it's underlever. I mean, that's what we cannot forget about. This is an underlever rifle. That's what separates it from all the other players out there. You get a real sleek, nice, smooth back mechanism here. Nothing's in your way. You're not having to come back here to do anything. You can literally just do it all from right here. I mean, it's smooth. It is. I like it. So overall, initial impressions and stuff on this rifle, I have to say, it's a very interesting rifle. I would have really liked to see Beeman put out a synthetic stock for this rifle. If they do the same look just in a synthetic stock, and I think you got a real winner there. But overall, again, very satisfied, very happy with the rifle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to our bench. We're going to shoot some chronograph numbers. We're going to shoot some accuracy out at about 40 yards. We may push it out to 65. We have a fixed 6-power scope on here, so I'm not looking to really go the distance on this rifle here. I don't know how it's going to perform as far as accuracy is going to work for us, but we opted for a 6-power magnification here. Like I said, with the illuminated reticle in there in the center, just play around a little bit with this rifle. I think this is going to make a lot of people happy as far as a really nice plinking rifle, and just small game squirrel rifle. Sure, you know, I could see walking through the woods with this and, you know, squirrel up in a tree, taking your shot, reload. Yeah, I can see where that would be. That'd be pretty handy there. So let's go take a look with some accuracy and play around with this Beeman 1358 and 22 caliber. All right, everybody. So we have the Beeman 1358 22 caliber here, and as some people may not know, this this actually does have a power adjuster. So right here in the back, you get your Allen wrench here, and just inserts right there in the back, and you can just go ahead and give all your little turnies and everything that you need there. So what I've done here for this part is I'm going to back this flush all the way out until the adjustment is flush with the back of this housing here. We're going to set this down, and a lot of people say don't fill this rifle up to its max fill 3000 psi. I have this filled up maximum 3000 psi because we want to find out exactly what this is going to do. So we're at low power on this thing. It claims 880 feet per second ish, I believe, on the box. So I do expect that, you know, we're going to get nowhere near that on this low power adjustment. Gotta love that underlever. We're going to swing this magazine in here. By the way, we're going to be shooting some, these are Crossman Premier Hollow Points 13.4 or 14.3 grain. 13.4, 14.3, I believe. I believe it's 14.3. So, low power. Get a chronograph on here. And hopefully we'll catch all these here and find out exactly what kind of numbers we're making. Make sure our safety's off. And safety, by the way, is manual, so it doesn't engage every single time that you load. So that's nice. All right, here we go. First shot. 804 feet per second. That's not bad, and incredibly quiet like this. 803, 806, 812, 813, 813, 814, 810. Got an error on that last shot, I believe. Not sure. I think may have miscounted. Might have one more in here yet. We got one more. Make sure my counting's correct here. 808. So not bad at all. Let's go throw another magazine in here and keep on shooting it down. So we were at 3000 psi, and we are now. Where are we at here? We are. Not bad. Right about like 2800 psi. Not sure if you can see that there. So not a bad loss in air. Hey, 14.3 grain pellet at 800 feet per second all day. That's good small game hunting right there. And minimal loss of air. Let's get another magazine loaded up. All right, 808 feet per second off that last magazine. And again, right at about 2800 psi. Our adjustment still backed all the way out to what I consider minimum power on the hammer there. And this confuses me so much every time I want to go to recycle back here. Got to remember that underlever action there. All right, let's go off 2800 psi. See what we get here. 819, 819, 820. We're starting to see that curve. Oh lordy. Double fed like a doofus. 820, 822, missed. 815, 815, another 815. Nope. Okay, that's gonna finish it, I believe, there for that magazine. Let's have a looky. Empty. All right, so we started to see a little bit of curve there, and apologize for the missed shots there, missed double feeding like a true hero. So we went from 28 to, man, we're like 2600 there, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure what maximum shot capacity is on this thing. But if you want to bump this thing down to low and shoot you some Walmart Crossman Premieres all day long, there you go. 815, 820, and an extreme spread, pretty low. Let's do this. Let's air this thing back up full. Same thing, 3,000 psi, and I'm gonna adjust this hammer spring all the way in. I'll count how many turns it is. I'll share that information with you. But I'm gonna adjust this all the way in here until we can just get engagement where it's safe, obviously. And we're gonna load this back up some more of these Crossman 14.3s here, and 3,000 psi, and shoot them over chronograph and see if we can hit that 880-ish feet per second that they're claiming from the manufacturer. So hang in there with me. Alrighty, so here we are again, and we're just a hair below 3,000 psi. That's my topping it off mistake here. So right there, we're still fully adjusted all the way out. Let's have a quick count here and see what kind of turns we get in here with this thing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, we're at 8, still engaging. 9. See if it engages at 10 here. Still engaging nicely at 10. 11, 12, 13. Let's see what happens at 13. Maybe too far. Too far. See, the underlever is no longer engaging. So we're at 13. We're at 13 here. Let's go ahead and let's back it out to 12. 12. Let's see what happens there at 12. No engagement yet. Let's go 12 and a half. See what happens here at 12 and a half. No engagement at 12 and a half. Half turn out, put us at 11. Okay. See if it'll engage at 11. No engagement at 11. All right, let's back it out there. 10 and 3/4 turn. See what happens. No engagement. I feel like I'm right at the end of the striker though. So 10 and a half, roughly. Okay, we got engagement, you see. So you get 10 and a half. Let's try this. Let's go in, not even 1/4, 1/8 turn, so see what happens there. So I want to see if this thing can hit on maximum 880 feet per second here. All right, we still got engagement. Let's walk it just a hair more. So we say we were at 10 and a piece, so we're at roughly 10 and a half turns, somewhere around there. All right, no engagement there. So we are right at the end of our engagement there, so we want to back it out just a hair. Actually, I'm gonna back it out 1/4 piece. All right, so good engagement. This is gonna be maximum engagement on our hammer spring. Like I said, about 10 and a half, somewhere around there, 10 and a half turns from all the way out in the end. So let's shut up and go ahead and start shooting this thing over the chronograph. 14.3 grain pellet here. Now I'm not sure if this is claiming 880 with lead free or what's the deal. Let's find out. 858, 846, 837, 826, 825, 809, 805, 797, 794, 789. Alrighty. Throw this magazine out right here. Alright, you guys ready for this? I believe we're at 850, 858, somewhere starting out. 3,000 psi. Ooh, it's an air hold. So we went from 3,000 to about 2,300 psi. Let's load one more magazine of these 14.3s and shoot over the chronograph and see what happens with it here. All right, here we are, right where we left off there. Right about 2,300 psi. Still full, about 10 and a half-ish turns on that power adjuster there. Still getting good engagement there. Everything feels good and safe. Got our magazine locked in. By the way, too, if you haven't noticed, this magazine does not push all the way in. So when it's hanging, it's just got this little lip here. Don't try forcing the magazine. That's as far as it goes. All right. 789. 798. 792. 779. 779. 769. 763. 758. 754. 747. That's it. 743 on that finish there. I don't believe I have another one in here. All right. 743. And that's put us right down to about 1800 psi, somewhere right there. All right, well, that's gonna do it for the chronograph right there. Now let's go take a look at some accuracy. All right, everybody, so check it out. Here's what we're gonna do. We have the Beeman 1358 22 caliber, and we have the power adjustment all the way in, which was about 10 and a half, 10 and a quarter turns, somewhere around there. No modifications done to it, all stock. And we're going to be shooting the these are JSB 18 grain JSBs here. We're going to start out with that, shoot right out there to 40 yards. I have you guys pipped on a small screen here, so this is going to take me just a tiny few seconds in between shots, because the unfortunate thing about the underlever is it's extremely nice if you are shooting offhand or anything, but if you're trying to shoot on the bench and you're looking for something to rest on, it's not going to work in your Caldwell precision turret, and it's going to be a pain following up with constantly shooting, having to lift this thing up off of there. But we're going to go ahead and give it a spin anyways. Okay, so these are the 18s here. I'm going to go bottom left and turn my small green dot on here. Bottom left of the target here, and we're going to see what kind of accuracy we can get here. First shot there. Sounded like a zinger. Let's see what happens. I might have pulled that one a hair bit. It looks like it's shooting a group. It's getting there. Not the smallest group I've ever seen, but other thing to mention is I'm just using a fixed 6-power scope here, and this is actually just a cheap Chinese made scope. It's a Vision King brand. I figured it'd pair up nice with this here, but it's turning out that I might need a little bit more power here, a little more magnification. It's making a group. And we're gonna do 10-shot groups here, so we want the full exposure, not 5-shot groups, 10-shot groups. We want to see what a whole magazine can do. And you gotta remember, we're on full power, so our extreme spread was pretty large there. It wasn't huge, but you're not gonna get the accuracy like you would if you dialed this thing down. Making a group. And watching the camera up here that's downrange, so I can see what it's looking like. It's looking pretty large right now. Pretty large group for 40 yards. I mean, I like to plug a hole at 40 yards. There's the end of our magazine there. And that has dropped us from a 3,000 to right about 2,300, somewhere right around there. So I say we do this. We put a stop to the camera here, And I'm going to go and switch up some ammunition here. Top this thing back off at 3,000 psi and see what shoots best just right out here at 40 yards. Let's find out. All right, we are rolling. So we are getting back up 3,000 psi there. And I know people were gonna say, well, you know, play around with the max fill and stuff and see what kind of accuracy you're getting. Well, you know, this review is for what I would consider what the typical person would do with no knowledge of PCP air guns and things of the sort. So we're going to be shooting some, these are JSB 14.3 grain pellets here. So these things are going to be flying real fast here. So I'm going to go bottom right of the target now. I wish I could use this daggone thing here. The trigger's got a little bit of a long second stage on it. Nothing terrible, I reckon. The trigger could use some attention. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as I'm aware, it's a non-adjustable trigger. There are some small adjustments that can be done. The stock does have to come off for those adjustments, so no external adjustments for the trigger that I know of. It's looking like these JSB 13s or 14.3s are making a nice little group down there so far. Probably would have been a little more fair to have done this the first time. I just wasn't sure how quick I could do this. Not bad. Nope, I pulled that one. That was ugly. Let's just try sticking with this tactic here, see what happens. Yep, that brought it back. Sometimes it's just the sometimes it's the shooter, equipment, things of the sort. No big deal. We're still gonna shoot us a group here. Oh yeah. Mailman's here. Oh yeah, we are making a group down there, guys. I believe that's the end of our magazine. Yep, end of our magazine. So, JSB 14.3s, making a nice group. And where are we at here? Let's check our pressure. So we were at 3,000. Wait, we're about the same thing, right about 2,300 psi. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Let's get us another magazine loaded up and shoot some more ammunition. All right, so here we go now again. This time we're going to shoot us some FX 15.9s, 15.9 grain. Bit much. There we go. All right, so we're going to shoot some of these 15.9s here, and again, we are right at 3,000 psi, maximum on the hammer spring, and we're going to see if these things get wompy on us, or if they fly lovely, or whatever may be the deal here. All right. So this time, where are we gonna go with this target here? Let's see if we can hit bottom left target there. Okay, so we're pretty close to that other group there, so we may be able to differentiate as long as it doesn't mix on up in there. Let's go. Let's just do this. Let's just go just a few clicks down here just to get us out of there, and we'll restart that group off of shot 9 here. And you can definitely feel that they load into that barrel a bit tighter than the JSBs were. Okay, well, that flew pretty much right the same area, so let's just roll with what we got here. Come on now. It's starting to mix up pretty bad in there, so I don't think that's where we want to be at. Let's try that there to get us out away from that that group there. All right, here we go. Let's try it now. All right. Looking good. Yeah. Looks like we're making us a group down there now. Oh yeah. See, now we're plugging a hole down there. You see up on that small screen I have you pipped on down there that we're eating a hole right here with these last few shots. See what happens. That's looking nice. Be hard to complain about that. And I apologize for not keeping the group where it is, because that'd have been real nice. Looks like it's walking a tiny bit, not too bad. And that's going to be because we are shooting on maximum hammer spring. So this thing is going to be experiencing a huge loss in air. You know, when you get that power, you're going to have a big drop unless you have some sort of a plenum or a transfer somewhere, a regulator, something to help regulate that. So that's going to be the end of that. Those were the FX 15.9s, and looking at the group from here, that's just about the cleanest group. We need to go back and probably clean that JSB 18 group up there and actually try to use this off and on a little bit. But the 14.3s and the 15.9s are looking pretty good. I'm gonna get loaded up on this next go around here. We're actually gonna shoot us some H&N slugs here, and I believe they're 218, 21 grain, I believe. Let's go check on that for sure. But I'll be right back with you. Get this thing topped off and get our magazine loaded up here. All right, here we go again. So yep, these are 218.218, 21 grain. These are the H&N Slug HP, I believe it is. And we're gonna knock us a couple of these down range just to see what it's doing. See how well this magazine will cycle for us. And actually that for 218 chambered right nicely there. So maybe this barrel here may be sized a bit larger. All right, here's what I'm gonna do with this one here. I'm gonna send this one. I don't know how much drop we're gonna get. Let's just go top left corner. See what happens here. Let's switch that up. I lie. Let's go to top right quadrant of this target here. God, I can't make up my mind, guys. It's so busy down there. Bottom right. I made my mind up. Bottom right here. Let's see what happens. All right. I think we got that one on paper there. It looks right above it, actually. All right. Not bad here. Let's see what kind of group we can plug. Now, I suspect these are moving into mid 700s here. Not looking too great. Anytime I get to, and I've never been too fond, just me personally, of the H&N slugs. I feel like they're just a little short in length to get that great BC on them. Yeah, because we're just kind of getting spread all over the place with these. So I'll shoot a couple more of them out and see if it looks like they're trying to come back. Yeah, see, we're making a square right there, and that's just not gonna be ideal. So we're gonna just do one more of these here, just to see. And again, this is at maximum hammer spring adjustment here, so you got some playing around to do with this rifle. You could tune and play around with it and shoot around some. Alright, well that one landed right where the last one did, so just for the heck of it, let's just go ahead and run this magazine out. Might as well. Got them in here. We're at the bench. Okay. If it ain't shooting a hole at 40, it ain't shooting a hole at 60. And if it ain't shooting a hole at 60, it ain't gonna do it at 100. So, ideally, what I like to do is, I generally like to start out as far as I can push this thing. Well, not as far as I can push it, but 65 has been a good starting point for a lot of rifles I like to test over here. I usually tend to just jump straight out to 65, but here with this one, I have this fixed 6-power scope here on top. That is, it really has a nice reticle. I personally like it. It's pretty simple. It's just a mil dot reticle, but it's got that red dot illuminated mil dot reticle on it. So the center lights up like a nice red dot. It makes for really great transitioning from one target over to the next one, especially if you're just doing some, 40, 50 yard shooting and you're just trying to, move quick on squirrels or something there. All right, that was the end of that magazine. And I've been paying attention to the fact that, pay attention to the number, indexing number on top of your magazine there, and you don't have to worry about your shot count too much. All right, so that's going to bring us down to, well, right about the same thing, about 2,300 PSI. So that was not a fantastic group by any means, but that's all right. Let's try something different here. Let's go get some more ammunition, shoot some more. All right, here we go again. Now, this is going to be the last bit of pellets here, just for now. Not including what I'll do off camera, but for you, these are FX 25.4 grain pellets. These are just as big as they get as far as a pellet, as far as I'm aware, and they just barely fit the magazine. It does index perfectly, so that's nice that they fit in there, but just barely. Let's rock and roll right at 3,000 PSI. Everybody's not so favorite feel. I'm sure a lot of people are going to comment and have said that they would have liked to see me do this or do that. So they loaded into the breech real nice. Here's what I'm going to do on this one. I've got a feeling he's a bit heavier, so let's go up to the top left quadrant of that target here, and let's take us a few shots, see what happens with these big old heavy pellets. Man, that was just about right on there. All right, all right, all right. I'm a big fan of FX pellets. I think that they've got some stuff figured out in their shop over there. That's looking like a group to me. Actually, that may be the best one we got. Now, granted, these are going to be moving. These pellets are going to be moving a lot slower. They're definitely going to have the energy on them to take you some small game. Loving it. So definitely enough power if you want to get out there to, 60, 65, 75 yards or so, and that's looking great, guys. I'm glad I have that camera down range on that target there for us so that you can see what I'm seeing. I know it's not the greatest quality, but I think this is going to be the ticket here. I think we may end up running some of these over to Chronograph just to see what they're moving like. This is making a good group. So far, I'd say it's competing for sure with our JSB. What were they? Or no, actually may have been the 15.9s that were flying well. Let's keep on it here. We're getting at the end of our magazine. Starting to drop a little bit there. Groups want to kind of spread out a tiny bit here towards the end, which, you know, we're experiencing a good drop in air. So, to be expected, to be expected. Keeping the same point of aim here. And we're making a hole. It ain't the tiniest hole, but we're making a hole down there. And that's what I like to see. Now, if you're looking at this accuracy at 40 yards, and mind you that this is just, again, a fixed 6-power scope, so I believe that was the end of it. We're not getting the greatest magnification. As I like to say, we're not getting that eagle vision all the way out there. But we have good magnification on the scope here, I believe we could clean those groups up down there. And again, with the same result. Actually, you know, this one experienced a tiny bit more loss in air. And we're actually right here, but this one probably more like 2,200 PSI. Maybe a little bit less. Somewhere right around there. So, maybe 2,200. Somewhere right in there. So, not bad at all. Alright, so here's what I say we do now. I'm going to tune this rifle down. I'm just going to tune it to its, let's go minimum power on this, because we were shooting those 14.3s at 800 feet per second. So let's bump it down to our maximum power here on the hammer spring, and let's load us back up some more pellets. We're gonna take a quick look at this board down here so you can eyeball it and see what we got going on as far as groups. Again, just a fixed power 6 magnification scope, so nothing incredible, but you know, some pretty good clarity on this scope, to be quite honest with you. So making some interesting groups down there, and we're gonna get loaded back up with probably start out with JSB 14.3s. How about that? All right, so here we go. We're gonna take a look at this group real quick down here at 40 yards. These groups, pardon me, and this time I brought my micrometer so we can actually have a little bit of a look. So let me start with what I do know for sure. H&N Slug HP, FX 25.4. I believe this here was our group of our JSB 14.3s. These were our FX 15.9s, which we had. I believe these 3 right up here too wanted to float away because, you know, originally we started shooting and it was trying to mix in with our group up there. And we have this group right up here as well. So, not bad. Let's take a look at our smallest group, the group that we are going to be interested in here. So, maximum power here, and we were shooting those 15.9s again. It's really hard to gauge because, you know, we had some out there. But if we look at what we have, we're at 1.186, so just over an inch there, 40 yards. Now, keep in mind, we got to dial this thing down, play with the power adjustment a little bit so that we can actually, you know, shrink these groups up a little bit, because I know that these can get smaller. So let's get back there to the bench and let's shoot on a lower power level and see what happens. Alrighty, so here we go. Got the camera up, rolling down range, and we're going to back this thing all the way out until it is flush with the back of its housing here, so that we can really find out what kind of groups this thing is shooting on low power now. So we are JSB 14.3 grain pellets here, and we are filled up to a maximum of 3,000 psi in this rifle. And I just want to see from 3,000 psi on a max fill where this rifle is shooting at. So we have fresh, clean target up, and we are going to start at the top left quadrant of this target here. And let's go ahead and put them, get the safety off here. Let's go ahead and put them down range. Much quieter. You can actually hear a little bit of bounce going on with that hammer on the exhaust valve. It's starting on the hitting the valve, striking the valve. It's getting a little bounce to it. So we're going to experience some kind of loss in air there because of that, but a tiny bit, but a tiny bit. And I'll be honest with you, at 800 feet per second with these JSB 14.3s, we're already making better group than we were making with the power turned up on it. So if that tells you anything about harmonics and how everything works when things are a little quieter and there's not so much turbulence, things tend to shoot a little bit better. And it is much quieter. And when I say much quieter, I mean it is, we have cut noise down by quite a few decibels on this thing. And making great groups. I cannot complain. So far, if we're getting this at 40 here, on low power, I'm kind of curious how the group will react if we turn up the power just a hair bit here, a couple turns at a time, and explore this air gun and shoot some groups out there. I mean, I'd be really interested to see what this thing would do at half power. Maybe even just bumping this hammer tension up just a little bit here might even pull some of these groups in real good. So I believe that's the end of our magazine there. I think we got one more. I don't know what's going on with my eyes there. Let's take this last one here. We like 10-shot groups here. Man, I am impressed. You hear that noise? That, let me make sure it's, yeah, it's a little bit of the spring rocking around in there. So when you adjust the power all the way back out, and here, let me actually check our pressure here. So we started at 3,000 psi, and we shot a 10-shot magazine, and we are sitting right at about 2,700 psi. Somewhere right in that area. So that is very satisfying. You know, if you're looking at a plink and you want that good shot count, and you just want to turn the power on this thing down real low and shoot all day, well, I do believe you get yourself at least good 2, maybe 3 usable magazines out of this. 2.5. Yeah, I'd say about 2.5, maybe 3 magazines. So let's do this. I have that group shot. I'm going to kill this camera down, right? And I'm going to go back inside. I'm going to air this thing back up to 3,000 psi, and we're going to do the same thing as we did last time. I'm going to shoot actually some 15.9 FX and the 18.3s or 18.1, I believe it is, JSBs on this low power setting here, but at a maximum fill, and then see what happens to these groups. And we may, just may, if we got enough time in this video, go back and I may adjust this thing to half power somewhere there around on the hammer spring, and shoot us some more groups and see what happens there. So hang tight with me real quick and let me go get this aired up and reloaded, and we'll shoot us another group. Alrighty, again, we're gonna keep shooting until the sun goes down. So we are right at 3,000 psi again, and this time we're gonna graduate. We're gonna go from 14.3 to 15.9. So these are our FX 15.9 grain pellets. Let's see on low power here what happens to our group. So I'm gonna go let's just walk it over top right here, top right quadrant of that target, and we'll see what happens. I mean, quiet. It just sounds like it's just barely. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to avoid double feeding on that one there. I didn't think that cocking lever would drop down hard enough to spin that magazine, but I reckon it does. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we're still right there at it. So I apologize for that hiccup there. Let's keep it right on rolling here. All right. I think we're gonna be all right. I think we are gonna be all right. Come on now, get myself adjusted here for you all. All right, here we go. So these are 15.9s. So these are probably moving right at upper 780 feet per second, somewhere around that area, 770. I'm guessing. Does my math sound right? Again, making another group that's much more comparable to the rifle when it is tuned up on high power. Now, granted, I know you're going to want to crank that bad boy up to maximum hammer spring and just get the slinging lead, but over here I am all about some accuracy, and I just want to see a nice group, because if you can't hit what you're pointing at exactly where you're pointing it at, and then what's the point of shooting? Now also keep in mind, I'm not going through and heavily hand selecting pellets. I am clearly not going to load a pellet into the magazine if it is folded in half on the skirt or anything of the sort. But I haven't gone through, I haven't weighted out pellets, I haven't, you know, we're not shooting field target here. We're just trying to see what kind of groups we're going to get here with this rifle. Stock from factory. We got one more here. Stock from factory, and no adjustments yet. Nothing I've done any kind of tuning whatsoever to this rifle. So man, that is a smoking group right there. That's really not too bad. I'm looking at it from here, anyways. I think we're under an inch out there. We could be under an inch out there. Let's air this thing back up. Actually, I experienced much less loss of air for what reason on this one than I did with the last one. So we were at 3,000 psi on that fill, and we are only right about 2,800 psi. See it for yourself. We've dropped only down just a couple hundred psi, so that's interesting. You can shoot all day. And me personally, with a group like that at 40, with the 15.9s, even moving, you know, upper 700 feet per second, that's still small game hunting all day right there. And at 40 yards, making a group like that, I'd call it a winner. So let me get aired back up. Let's get another magazine, and then this time we're going to shoot us the these are the JSB 18-1s, I believe they are. So let's go ahead and get this thing topped back off and shoot us another magazine. All right, camera's rolling down range. Again, we are topped off, 3,000 psi here. Minimum adjustment on that hammer spring. So we are going to now shoot us. These are the JSB. These are 18-1, I believe. 18.1 grain pellets here. Chambered nicely. So let's go ahead and have a shot at it now. I'm going to go ahead and aim for let's just call it let's stick to the bottom left quadrant of that target there. See what happens here. Making it on paper. That's what's important. I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit of a stronger latch for that lever. That one pulled a little to the right there. I would have liked to seen a little bit of a stronger latch for that lever. possibly even incorporate something magnetic into it. I think that could have been pretty cool. It catches into this little plastic catch right underneath of the lever there, and I just wonder how long that thing is going to hold up, and also, is it going to retain its rigidity so that every time that you cock this lever, that it actually goes back to where it needs to be. That is something that I think that I would personally change about the rifle. Like I said, maybe something nice and magnetic. That's a good way to go when it comes to air guns. You talk about clipping magazines and things of the sort like that. I love to see people when they integrate some magnets. But see, just right down here, it has this, it's right up in here with my finger somewhere. There's a small catch right here that this just hinges right into, and I'm just a little skeptical. I feel like I'm shooting it right now, it just feels so loose. And I believe this may be our group here. So it's looking like these 18 grain JSBs, contacts trying to get a little fuzzy on me. Still trying to get fuzzy on me. Come on now, eyeballs. These 18 grain JSBs appear to be the way to go. I have to turn the power up on this thing a little bit more and see if we can find a nice median between the group that it made on full power and this group here, because this group here, again, way more comparable to the last one. This one is a much tighter group. And again, not using any real powerful magnification or anything in here, so you know what you see in is what you're getting with a fixed 6 power scope. I can't stress that enough. That is important when it comes to shooting longer ranges. You know, you want good magnification. Good magnification. That's the end of our magazine there. Alrighty, so also point this out real quick while I can. These cheap here magazines, they've been just getting slid and tore all up. This is why I've only opted to just use one magazine for this rifle for any of these testing purposes here. So it's just not very nice on these magazines here. And so this one here went from about 3,000 to about 27, somewhere right around 2,700 psi, somewhere right in there. So very interesting. You know, you're getting a good consumption of air, a good use of your air here with it cut down low. Now I'm kind of curious. I think what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna dial this thing up here from all the way out, and we say 10, about 10 in a piece is about all the way in. So let's just go 5 solid turns in. I'm gonna go reload some of these 18 grain JSBs, top this thing back off at 3,000 psi, and then we're gonna see what kind of group this actually makes. Sounds good. All right, y'all, here we go. This is gonna be the last bit of shooting. So we have a first magazine of some FX 18s, and apologize, JSB 18 grains, and we're gonna adjust this guy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll even call it a piece, just to make it somewhat halfway there. So now this is going to be JSB 18s at 3,000 psi max fill. 5 and a piece turns in from all the way out. And let's see what kind of group we got here. I'm going to send this one at the bottom right quadrant of this target down here. And let's see what our group does. You can hear the difference. Much more velocity on those pellets right here, and we're gonna see what happens to this group. I do like the Underlever. I think I may end up having to purchase one of these rifles for myself. It's a little odd on the bench, but you know, it's also extremely fun to shoot offhand. If you get out there, and I'll show a bit of that in this video as well, some shooting offhand here, it's pretty fun. And I'll be honest with you, this is it's starting to make a group down there. I'm not sure what's going on. I got a nose hair trying to fly away on me or something here. I'll be honest with you, this is looking good here, guys. This may be part of the way to go here. I might have to push this thing out now a little bit. Throw us a different scope on and have some fun with it. See what happens maybe out at 65 yards. I am pretty impressed with this rifle so far. At $300, it's a competing price point there. And for a configuration as such, and to be making the group that it's making down there right now, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think it's definitely a competing rifle. And I'm sure you're seeing what we're doing down range there. And again, we're gonna run 10 shots on this thing. And looks like we're getting some interesting air use here too. Alright. So, that's the end of that magazine. Again, that's with the 18 grains JSB pellets. And we started at 3,000 PSI, and this time we are now right about, well, I'd call it about 2,600, 2,600 PSI. I don't know, that's pretty impressive stuff to me. So here's what I'm gonna do. Kill this camera here. And I think what I'm gonna do, if I can press a daggone button here. All right. I think what we're gonna do is now we're gonna step out. I'm gonna get this thing aired back up to 3,000 PSI, and I'm gonna step out and we'll do a little bit of offhand shooting with this thing to show you what it's capable of. Alrighty, here we go. We're gonna take a look at these groups here now. These groups are worth talking about. These groups at 40 yards are worth talking about. So let's take a look at this here. We started up here, and we started with the JSB 14.3 grain pellets. Let's see what our farthest spread here may be. We'll call it here. So you're looking at about an inch. 1.1, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's fair to say. And we moved over, and we went up weight, graduated on up into our FX 15.9s, which, man, he's made a right nice group here. We had one little flyer there. So even at the farthest here, we're looking at, shrink it down a tiny bit there, 1.1. But if we close in on this group here, yeah, I think we're more at the 3/4 of an inch, somewhere around there. 1.753 over here. These are going to be our JSB 18s now. So we got to talk about this just a little bit here. This is our group with it slowed all the way down. This is our group here with it turned up a little bit now. We went about halfway on the power there, so let's take a look at this group here. So even with our farthest shot, which is outrageously crazy, we got 1.3. If we shrink it down here and we look at our group, we went from somewhere's right in there for about 0.850. It's a little close to an inch there. And let's see what happened once we dialed this thing up. So we dialed it back up here. There's one of our pellets right in there. Ding. So we dialed it back up about 5 turns there. And how are we looking here? 0.722. Yeah, I'd say that's, and at our farthest, we're still 1.22. So we are still keeping it just right there at an inch. And to be honest with you, all's fair is fair. Using a better scope, having some better optics on here may help with this group, because you can see even here with the FX 15.9s, making some good groups there, guys, making some good groups. So now I'm gonna go on out here and we're gonna load this thing back up, and I'm gonna stand up offhand and show you what this thing can do. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do for you now. Filled up right there at 3,000 psi with the Beeman 1358 here. And somewhere in my pocket I got a fresh magazine. And these are our 18 grain JSB pellets here. And all I'm gonna demonstrate for you here is a little bit of a speed dooey that you can do here with this rifle. So because it's an underlever and it's located right here at the front, it's pretty smooth. Let's see what happens when we do this. Well, that may have been the last one there. All right. Well, the point of what I wanted to show you there is, for anybody that may be interested, you can follow up extremely quick with this rifle here. I have it with a fixed 6-power scope here with the illuminated red dot reticle in here, so it makes really good for following up like that. But you know, if you were just any real fast shooter, makes me want to put a magazine and give it a try like that. But yeah, there you have it there. Doing a little bit of quick offhand shooting just to show you that you can follow up real quick with it. This thing, I have to say, probably something that nags me a little bit about it is the fact that it's tucked in here, and so if you ain't got your finger right, just right in there, hook it, then you're jabbing your finger all into the sides of the wood here and stuff. But overall, if you're just taking your time shooting, I like the underlever. I think for shooting, especially offhand, if you just wanted to, you know, do you a quick shot, I don't see any problem with that whatsoever. I think that mechanism works lovely right there. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. The Beeman 1358 PCP underlever multi-shot air gun. I tell you guys, I had a lot of fun messing around with this rifle and doing a review on this one for y'all. It was a little disappointing getting the rifle in, that it was, you know, degassed and needed to have my hands put on it immediately. However, aside from that, a great package. 300 bucks, you can't beat it. And you get your bullpup configuration. Everything was smooth. It rock and rolled real nice. I like it. I may have to get one for myself, but we will be giving this one away. Got to go look for that post, as I mentioned before. Go over to my community page and my YouTube, or go over to my my actual website at www.FowlerAirguns.com, and you can also enter in over there if you'd like to. I'm putting up a post over there to enter in. So good power adjustment there. Minor adjustments with the trigger if you take the stock off. 3,000 psi, bullpup, lever action. I think we got a winner. I like it, guys. So again, one last look at the Beeman 1358 underlever. Don't forget that now. That's the magic here. That's where all the magic's happening. A smooth rifle. Hope you all enjoy this video. I'm going to be putting out some more polls to find out what you all want to see me actually do reviews on, because I feel like there ain't no sense in doing reviews on air guns if nobody wants to see the air gun, right? Well, you guys have spoken and I've done it, so here you have it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey, look, on that note, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to follow some more content from me. And as always, we'll see you next time.